had to move from multiple places.
The housing crisis in Metro Boston is making it nearly impossible for people like Boston special education teacher Megan Strackel to live here.
More and more people want to live in the city, and there's just not enough space for everyone.
According to the Metropolitan Area Planning Council, since 2010, the 15 metro communities of Greater Boston added 100,000 residents and about 150,000 new jobs. But they only issued building permits for around 32,000 units. Many of those are not what most would consider affordable.
We're talking about the new stock market, which is really our housing stock, being used by ultra-rich, ultra-wealthy people who have no intention of renting them out or living in them.
You know, Boston can't build all the affordable housing from Massachusetts.
The MAPC says that 2/3 of all the rental apartments in Massachusetts in the last decade were built by just 10 cities and towns. That wasn't the intent of the state's Chapter 40B statute that mandates 10% of all housing in each town be affordable. The MAPC found that 80 to 85% of all communities don't even meet that requirement.
If a community really wants to keep housing out, they don't want new people to come in, then they establish zoning ordinances that prevent that from happening. But then the entire state is harmed by that.
But developers are pouncing on towns slow to build. If a town is below the 10% affordable housing mandated by 40B, developers can bypass zoning laws with state approval, building massive complexes in suburban towns as long as just a quarter of the units are affordable.
Our feelings are to turn this project down. It is not good for our town. It's not good for our community.
Towns like Medfield, Brookline, and Wayland all have clashed with developers to stop the big builds and take control of where and how affordable housing will be built on their own terms. And while both sides are fighting, affordable housing needed is not being built.
We are finding there are too many people who are finding it too expensive to either move into Newton or to stay here.
2 years ago, the Newton Zoning Board took a developer to land court to stop the construction of a 334-unit affordable housing project in the Wells Avenue Office Park, and won. Newton Mayor Ruth Ann Fuller says that Newton is still working to build affordable housing that doesn't destroy their community.
So things are happening in Newton.
Newton joined 14 other metropolitan mayors in pledging to build 185,000 new units of housing by 2030, with a percentage set aside for moderate or low-income families. Organizers of the Yes in My Backyard movement, or YIMBY, say it's a step in the right direction.
We need to end exclusionary zoning in the suburbs, which has made it not just difficult, but nearly impossible to build enough affordable, or really any affordable housing in many of the exclusive, exclusionary suburbs of Greater Boston.
The YIMBY, or Yes in My Backyard movement, is demanding the final say in what gets built in urban Boston. They say it's a matter of racial and environmental justice. We'll explore that issue in the next installment of Priced Out. For now, I'm Crystal Haynes, Boston 25 News.